Good morning. My name is Zinat Annaev. I'm an international medical graduate from Russia. I work as a doctor, and today I'm going to be talking about narcolepsy and idiopathic hypersomnia. Let's dive in. I want to begin with an Irish proverb: a good laugh and a long sleep are the best cures in the doctor's book. And if to think about it, this is truly the case. We all feel better after a good laugh and a long sleep. But unfortunately, in case of narcolepsy and idiopathic hypersomnia, things are different. Let's talk about narcolepsy first. What is narcolepsy? Most of us are pretty familiar with this disease. The word narcolepsy is composed of two Greek words: narco, which means put to sleep, and lepsy, which means seizure. Narcolepsy is a disorder in which the ability to regulate sleep-wake cycle is impaired. It leads to frequent lapses into sleep during the daytime. What is pathogenesis of narcolepsy? In deep part of the brain called hypothalamus, there is a special group of neurons which produce neurotransmitters orexin A and orexin B, also known as hypocretin 1 and hypocretin 2. These neurotransmitters, they help to stabilize weakness, wakefulness, and sleep. In individuals with a classic form of narcolepsy, the autoimmune process destructs nearly all orexin-producing neurons during adolescence, which results in permanent low orexin state and produces the classic constellation of symptoms. What are those symptoms? These are excessive daytime sleepiness, cataplexy, sleep paralysis, vivid hallucinations, and fragmented sleep. Let's talk about each of them. Sleepiness is considered to be one of the most challenging symptoms of narcolepsy. People can doze off really quick and with little warning. This can happen while they're working at the computer or even while they're driving, which poses a real danger to them, to themselves and everyone else. People with narcolepsy do not sleep more than healthy people do. And they usually awake well rested. This is very important to differentiate narcolepsy and idiopathic hypersomnia. The other thing which may differentiate between those diseases is that the people with narcolepsy, they usually take short naps and they feel rested after those naps. Vivid dreams. Normally, when people with narcolepsy go to bed, they go through the sleep cycle lasting an hour or more before reaching REM sleep phase, which is characterized by dreaming. People with narcolepsy fall asleep very quickly. They reach REM phase of sleep in just a few minutes. This can result in very vivid dreams, which a person experiences in just a few moments after falling asleep. This can also result in hallucinations, which are also called hypnagogic hallucinations. They happen before sleep, and hypnopompic hallucinations, they happen upon awakening. These hallucinations are the consequence of a mixture of wakefulness and dreaming of REM sleep phase. And those hallucinations, they can be so realistic that it makes them hard to distinguish from reality. And some of those hallucinations may be not that pleasant. Sleep paralysis is the complete inability to move for some time immediately after awakening or just after falling asleep. We all remember that people with narcolepsy, they reach REM phase very quickly. And we all remember that REM phase is also characterized by muscle paralysis. And just imagine the feeling of the vivid hallucination. For example, a person sees some frightening creature in the room. This might happen along with the sleep paralysis. By the way, has any one of you experienced that in your dreams? Because I remember very clearly one of my childish dreams as if I run from something or someone, and I experienced that unexplainable weakness in my muscles. During the dream, I clearly understand that I can run faster. I know my real speed and I normally run faster, but somehow my brain transfers the exact feeling of paralyzed muscle during the REM phase into that dream. I think that's really fascinating. Um, People with narcolepsy, they are sleepy during the day, but they also experience fragmented sleep during the night. That means they spontaneously wake up many times at night, and it takes them several minutes to fall asleep, to fall back asleep. Let's move to cataplexy. Cataplexy refers to episodes of muscle weakness, which are triggered by strong emotions, such as laugh or anger or extreme joyfulness. Most of the time, the weakness affects just the part of the body. It may be the face, or the neck, or specific limbs. But there also may be more severe cases in which the whole body is affected. This causes a person to fall down to the ground and makes him unable to move for some time. Understandably, cataplexy has a severe impact on a person's life, both from a physical perspective, when people, since people can get hurt while they collapsed, as well as psychological perspective, when people get anxious about having cataplexy episode, and they try to avoid public events such as weddings and birthdays. Let's take a look at one of the video that shows us cataplexy.
So here's a person actually with a history of narcolepsy, and this video is actually going to demonstrate this process of cataplexy that these patients frequently have. That's a circumstance where you just kind of like lose muscle tone, become even almost paralyzed.
So unfortunate.
Yeah. And so let's take a look at this. And oftentimes it's actually this video clip is someone who was demonstrating like a dance exercise, and because the person's background pathology just happens to capture this moment right on the videotape. So let's take a look at that. So here she is describing like these dance motions, and then we'll see just this abrupt like loss of motor tone, and because this person has underlying narcolepsy, we'll actually see like this person just goes out this profound
so
deep sleep. So a terrible actually circumstance.
That's what cataplexy, just that sudden paralysis, and then all of a sudden you just have possibly associated sleep attack, and then she just woke up.
And then she just woke up. Yeah, fascinating.
And then another sleep attack.
Truly a terribly impactful disease.
Patients typically have just some of the classic symptoms of narcolepsy. Only a minority of patients will exhibit all those symptoms at once, which can make narcolepsy hard to distinguish from other sleep disorders that causes sleepiness. Evaluations like polysomnography and multiple sleep latency test may help to diagnose narcolepsy. There is currently no cure from narcolepsy, but there are some measures and medications that can help to deal with it. These are good sleep hygiene, daytime stimulants, and nighttime depressants. As clinicians, this is where we really need multidisciplinary team due to psychological problems that patients with narcolepsy experience, and possible traumatization of those patients, and of course, treatment with medications. Let's say a couple of words about idiopathic hypersomnia in the context of differential diagnosis to narcolepsy. Both narcolepsy and idiopathic hypersomnia are considered central disorders of hypersomnolence. They share similarities, most important of which is excessive daytime sleepiness. But they show different results on a sleep study. One of the primary parameters is sleep onset REM periods. This is the quantity of REM sleep during the sleep study after the sleep onset, classically in first 15 minutes. Patients with narcolepsy will experience 2 of those episodes minimum, and patients with idiopathic hypersomnia do not. There are also other differences in clinical symptoms experienced by patients with idiopathic hypersomnia. For example, patients with this disease often sleep excessive amounts of time and have difficulty waking up after the night sleep. And they also find daytime naps not refreshing. The absence of the clue symptoms of narcolepsy also inclines us to think about idiopathic hypersomnia. Treatment of idiopathic hypersomnia is mostly the same as with narcolepsy. Have a good sleep, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. All set?
All set. All set, sir.
Good.